how much cardio do you like to keep in off season if completely sedentary the rest of the day?
All right. So
that's a good question.
That is a good question. And what's up, everybody? If we want to talk, there's so many different ways that we could approach this. You could approach this coming out of a contest prep. You could approach this that maybe you're in an off-season phase where you didn't really nail the mark and you want to start to kind of clean it up. I also view cardio as a successful part of a regimented day, and just taking time for your own heart health. So if we want to look at it just from a strictly heart health perspective, regardless of sedentary levels, I think it's important. So that's kind of where I start with analyzing this question. I have everybody do cardio except for a few extreme outliers in the off season. And it's simply just to move. I think it helps facilitate the recovery. And also the biggest factor for me is just overall heart health and endurance to then go into training and to be able to push yourself harder during training. So those are kind of some of the variables that I look at. If you want to talk about Nadia specifically, we had a little short off-season phase. And during that phase, I was trying to increase calories as much as we can. So within that, we basically kept a steady variable of the cardio, because when you're looking at variables of energy expenditure, if you're increasing food, but keeping the work rate the same, then there's not too many fluctuations there, versus if I increase the food and immediately decrease the cardio, there's more to consider within that. So obviously it's hard to make a blanket statement about how much you should be doing. It depends on the amount of lean muscle that you have. It depends on your fat levels, but I would recommend that everybody do some type of cardio in the off season. I think it just, for overall mental health, it helps a lot in so many capacities, 20 to 30 minutes a day. And within that, just really work hard. You don't have to do as much cardio if you're being assertive in the cardio that you're doing. So that's kind of my input on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And there's other variables that come into play when talking about being sedentary the rest of the day. Is that because you're working a desk job, or are you being a couch potato and you don't have any levels of NEAT throughout the day, that non-exercise activity, thermogenesis? Are you going to the store and walking around getting your groceries? Are you cleaning the house? Are you walking the dog? Like, that is all stuff that should be measured in prep and in off season, I think. But in your off season, that cardio, like Matt said, it's personal time. It's my hour, however much I'm doing in the morning, that I have to myself to get my head right, to just get mentally ready and locked in on my day. And I've never not done any cardio in the off season. We've pulled it back for sure. But I, like Matt said, probably like 20, 30 minutes, depending on how much cardio you came from doing in your contest prep, how much cardio you've done in your off season. Are you already pretty far into your off season and you've gained a lot of body fat? Is that something that you should discuss with your coach in regards to your diet? Or is that something that you just need to make like a blanket statement about cardio and just cardio in general? And it doesn't have to be like HIIT sessions all week long, just going outside for a 30-minute walk with your dog, or getting on the treadmill and just getting some movement. And like Matt said, just for the aspect of heart health and just being healthy and helping with digestion and inflammation and regulate just recovery in general. I think that it actually helps to get in some movement, whereas if you're stuck all day, you might just feel tight and a little bit restricted.
Yeah. And again, one other point, just really quick, I talked about heart health, but I've seen so many times where the only variable that I've changed with an athlete is their cardio, going from no cardio to cardio in an off-season phase, and their markers overall improve a lot. Iron levels, hemoglobin, hematocrit, lipids. So just don't look at cardio as like it's gonna keep me away from gaining muscle or whatever. Like it's an important part of the puzzle. Your insulin sensitivity is going to improve. Your blood pressure is going to go down, male or female. It's a healthy habit to get into that I think a lot of successful people do, whether you're a competitor, whether you just want to feel better, whether you want to make a life change for yourself. It's something that I would definitely address within your plan for the day.